not the way we drew it up, and a lot of credit, to Coach Skirka and Murray State. What they played really well, and we didn't play great, but again, I don't want to take any credit away from them because they played really well and they beat us, and we went for it. Obviously, and shot a lot of bullets at them tonight, and they had an answer for everybody. And so I'm sure it'll be asked, but once we decided on going with Riley, the decision was we'll do whatever we need to do to win the game. And as you all know, it's in this format. You got to win the first two to have an advantage. And so we went for it tonight, and unfortunately we weren't good enough and, got beat. And so we'll shower well, as we've talked about all year, and come out tomorrow, get ready to win a baseball game.
Questions for Judd?
Judd, just what did you see out of Murray State tonight that was maybe different from that midweek matchup early in March?
Yeah, I don't know if it was so much different. They're a good ball club, like Coach mentioned, and we played them, or at least I played them in the past 2 years. They can really swing it. They throw the ball in the zone, and we just didn't capitalize on the mistakes that the pitchers made today. We did not play great defense behind our pitchers, and it's frustrating, but we know that we can bounce back and win tomorrow.
What are the emotions like in a game like this where you're down and you're two massive home runs tied and it's back and forth? Just what is that like in the clubhouse and how you guys stick together and fight?
Yeah, I'm sure it's good for viewership, whenever you have these barn burner games. But our team is full of maturity. Coach mentions a lot of the times old wins in this league. For us, we just have a professional mindset about it to go out there and control what we can control, and then, let others take care of the rest.
Cats, you guys have talked about it all year, but how do you guys shower this one off?
Yeah, the stakes are obviously higher here than a regular midweek game or even a weekend game, but I think we're going to shower well the only way that we know how to, and that's just to put it behind us. It's obviously frustrating, it being postseason, and this is my first regional game. And I had high hopes for us today, but ultimately we can't control anything about this game anymore. We just have to put it past us.
Anything else for Judd? Okay, thanks, Judd.
Good.
Questions for Coach? Raleigh, Mike, tell me through what you kind of saw in that 3 innings.
Yeah, again, it sounds – I don't want to take any credit for Murray State, but, he had some bad fortune. But also you could tell the command wasn't there. I think he walked 3 people, in 3 innings, besides, giving up hits, and wasn't in the zone, the way he normally is and the way he's been, the second half of the season for sure, or most of the season, I should say. And just a tough night for him.
Coach, how do you feel about your bullpen going forward in the tournament?
I don't know. We got a lot more pieces left, but when you have to get into the losers bracket, there's going to be other guys that have to step up and pitch well. And it starts with tomorrow. You got to get through the game, and so somebody does it every year. Somebody loses game 1 and makes it through, and so. I like this club, and I know they'll stick together. And, again, I think you got to just be careful of trying to, look to the finish line and look to the next step. And the next step is, tomorrow against, a Western Kentucky team.
In the back, George, David Austin again from Jackson. To get the tying runner to the plate in the 9th like that, in a game that's so back and forth, I feel like if it goes to the 10th, it could go the other way, the 11th maybe again the other way. For a game like this, what is it that you feel about your team after? Is it obviously the loss is not what you want, but was the team in it
Say that last part.
Was the team in it the way that you wanted?
For sure. Yeah, I don't really understand the question, but we love this team. This team's really good. And they fought. It wasn't like they didn't show up. We didn't play, particularly well in any of the phases. But they did, and we got beat. And when you get to this point in the season, like it's like SEC weekend baseball. You got to play well or you lose because the other teams are good. And so nobody gets to this point in a regional without being good. And we weren't good enough today. They were a better team.
Any other questions?
Yes.
Did you identify anything with McCall's on there? His command.
We walked 7. A lot of things weren't the recipe for success today in a lot of different areas. Again, a couple errors made it hard. Some plays that we didn't make that, if we would have made a great play, innings may have turned. And then obviously offensively, we wasn't a ton of hits. We got some homers, and that was good and kept us in the game. But we, when their starter throws 120 pitches, it's usually not good for you, any day. And, we weren't able to get to the bullpen. We weren't able to put, as you've heard me say, that chain together, to put that inning together. We got some base runners and hit a home run a couple times, but not that really explanation mark type inning. We couldn't put it together.
In the back, far left.
Mike, Carl LeBron, WCBI TV. A little side note from the game. You noticed Hayden Federico hit his back pretty hard on that wall there. Same spot that Ryan Mormon, used to play. So Mormon was a pinch hitter, but I just wanted to get maybe an update on his status going forward.
Federico.
Both though.
Federico, I think's fine. I think it just jarred him a little bit, and he was fine. After that, Ryan, obviously the knee's better, and he's getting better each day. But it's it's kept him from playing the outfield. Swinging doesn't affect him. He can swing. Running, is a little bit of an issue. And so I think he can make it around the bases. He can do some of those things. But today we thought, with the right hander, leave Smithwick at the DH spot, leave Fed out in the outfield.
Second row right here. Coach, what did you think of your team's approach tonight at the plate?
I thought we didn't barrel up enough balls. I just thought we got some swings off, but you got to credit them. I mean, they pitched it really well, and again, we didn't. Just said it a couple minutes ago. I just didn't think we consistently had good at bats. We had some good at bats, but intermittently there was some bad at bats, which played to the advantage of them.
Anything else? Last one in the back. Coach, I know that it's right after this game, but are there any thoughts that you guys prepared for Western Kentucky and you're coming into the
No, we were locked in on this game.